Hi everyone, this is Sarah. Thank you for filling out the survey. I'm going to go over some of the results with you in just a minute, but first I just want to orient you to this course. Some of you are new to Desire to Learn, and so this will just be a quick orientation. Um, I've been trying to call most of you. I think I've made my way through most of the list. A few of you I haven't been able to reach yet, but I'm just calling to check in, see if you have any questions about Library 101. This is a 5-week class and it does move quickly, so I want to make sure that you get off to a good start. In the meantime, if you want to contact me directly, please don't hesitate. This is the news area. This is where I'm going to post announcements, probably one or two per week. And then over here is where the content lives, but you can also go up to the main content area here, and I will post all new content by 8 a.m. on Fridays, and then it's due by 10 p.m. the following Sunday, so it gives you more than a week to do the work. Each week is building towards your final project, so it's going to be really important that you review the final project. I encourage you to print the directions to the final project, the assignment prompt here. To print it and read it carefully. And if you have any questions, please do ask. A good place to ask questions is in the open discussion forum. If you think that the question or the answer to the question will benefit your classmates, please do ask it there and feel free to chime in with answers, and I'll be checking that as well. So it's a place, especially on the weekends. I typically don't check email very consistently on Saturdays and Sundays. So if you have a question over the weekend and you think a classmate could help, posting it to that open discussion forum is a good idea. So the final project, as you've probably read already, is a community-based learning project. So I expect you to pick a topic for your final project that relates to a nonprofit. So where you will find the nonprofit is through the community connector. If you have a nonprofit that you would like to base your research on that is not listed here, please email me directly and I'm sure we can work something out. The idea is to pick a nonprofit that's doing work that interests you and then explore a research topic that relates to an issue that the nonprofit addresses. So that's the scope of the project. I've had good feedback about this so far, and I hope that it makes your research more meaningful. The second piece that's really important is that you need to choose an audience for your final project. So I am not your primary audience. You are not selecting resources for me. You're selecting them for an audience that you define. So I want you to start thinking about that from the beginning. Is it the general public? Is it someone who uses services that your nonprofit provides? Is it a potential donor to the nonprofit? Is it the people who volunteer at the nonprofit? You know, who is your audience? Okay, so back to the course homepage here. So each week I'm going to go ahead and click on week 1B that has the content for week 1. Each week there will be an introduction, a lecture. In the lecture it links to video, you need to read the lecture, and also it links to video tutorials that you need to watch. The quizzes typically cover material that's in the tutorial and the lecture, and then so that's why the quiz comes next, and then the assignment. So all of that material should set you up to do the assignment. The assignment is a Word document that you type in, and then when you've completed it and saved your work, you go ahead and upload it to the Dropbox. So now I've added a discussion post that's optional because you have a lot of work to do this week. So I've made the discussion post optional to introduce yourself and also share some reactions and responses to the first day's survey. So I'll go ahead and post the response results for you, and you can see a summary, and you can see that we're a diverse group, and I just think that's great. And we have differing perspectives on research and some of the course content, as well well as differing not just perspectives, but also experiences that we bring to bear on the course content. So as we scroll through here, we can see that some of us already have degrees, and we're going for another one potentially. Some of us, I apologize for the repeated question there, but some of us plan to have a career in alcohol and drug counseling. That's because it's a prerequisite for that program. This course is a prerequisite for that program. It's also a prerequisite for a library program here at PCC, and so some of us expect to work in libraries. Most of us expect to do research in the future, and we also know that, we have some room to grow in terms of our research habits, even though we are pretty satisfied that we find the information that we're looking for. This was an interesting one to me that we're pretty split down the middle in terms of judging others for where they get their information from. And we also seem to really value experience as an indicator of credibility, and education is up there as well. Some of us use social media and also consume news online. So we're using online sources already to inform our daily life. And also we tend to, many of us pay for access to media online. And at the same time, we expect it to be freely available as well. So I thought that was interesting that those two really do mirror each other in terms of our responses. Both we expect to pay for content and we expect it to be free. We do value where our information comes from, and we also have served as a researcher for family members. Let's see. Some of us grew up in the internet age, and some of us did not have internet at home for either because it wasn't around or it wasn't available to us. What else did I find interesting here? Oh, yes, we all seem to believe that research is important as part of the decision-making process. And I'm going to just point out one more here about citations, because this tends to be something that I get asked about a lot. We will cover citations, and it looks like some of us have some confidence building to do around reading citations and kind of knowing what we're looking at, and that's great because we're going to be covering that content in the course. All right. Well, thank you again for your responses to that. So to summarize, I expect that you're going to become familiar with that final project pretty quickly here, and if you have any questions, go ahead and ask. Also, I've added a discussion post opportunity for you. It's optional for you to be able to introduce yourself. Maybe you want to do that in order to connect with other people who are also taking this course as a prerequisite. And also the prompt will ask you to reflect on some of the survey responses. Perhaps some of those responses surprised you or you thought were interesting and you might want to share with your classmates. I hope you have a great first week. Thanks.